I'm about to skip this. Skip. But when does this game get good?
Yesterday, I was with careful anticipation waiting. Just waiting for any time for the They Call Him OG trailer to drop. The movie, directed by Sujit, is a rare phenomena in the Indian film industry because it has some of the largest interest in advance bookings for a movie even before its trailer dropped in the public domain. It's an odd case of people already being intrigued merely by the association of the artist with a director who many people believe has crazy potential. Sujit has officially been associated with this project for 3 years. Many people actually claim it's way more than that, saying that he has been sitting with this idea actually since 6 years in order to work with his favorite star, and has been sitting with the They Call Him OG idea apparently since 2019, denying the project of working with Pawan Kalyan on a remake film and working on this instead. Due to, of course, political commitments of Pawan Kalyan, this movie has been heavily delayed, but somehow the hype has still remained. I wouldn't want to take a deep dive on the OG concert event yesterday because I couldn't help but wonder that this is turning out to be a meme fest, with several awkward moments of bodyguards almost getting slashed by katanas and Emraan Hashmi having absolutely no idea what was happening around him. The teaser absolutely hooked me, and if I must say, someone who has sustained the hype of this movie actually has fully contributed to increasing more interest for the film. It is Taman. This is a music producer who is generally always a hit and a miss for me. I associate his filmography to mostly all Balaya films, and they are mostly very loud even for the theatre surround systems. But I must say his work most recently in Daku Maharaj and even in a Hindi film like Jat was commendable. But I think his work in They Call Him OG is of another level altogether. Even with some of the songs not having the translations from their Telugu versions, I have been vibing to the trance of Omi introducing Emraan Hashmi's character and having absolutely been obsessed with Guns N' Roses and Firestorm. I had once posted about the teaser of the film and said that I had a connection with this movie. To cut a long story short, I had auditioned for one of the parts of this movie. I had sent an audition tape, they called me for a shoot and a look test. I was very close to the finishing line, but it of course did not end up happening. I was contacted by the team. I'll say team because I don't think it'll be right to specifically say who. They really liked my look, which they somehow scouted through social media. I remember landing up in the studio and they put me in a costume within a few hours. I was wearing a 70s Versace shirt with bell bottoms. They curled my hair where I was looking literally like some pop star from the 70s, and another version of Emraan Hashmi from the film. This was to play one of Omi's family members who is very significant in the plot. I can't really conclude from the trailer which character it is, even though I have my suspicions that it may be the character that Sudev Nair is playing. I can only confirm when I watched the film. So your boy was almost in this crazy project as an unhinged man on the bad side. Even though it didn't work out, it was pretty cool to even go through this process. I saw the trailer and it's pretty clear that there is a 70s gang war taking place. Omi and his men seem to have created such a ruckus in the city that it compels a man who everyone feared to return from hiatus and show them their place. The amount of hype that is surrounding Emraan Hashmi right now because of the bads of Bollywood, I can only imagine the way it's going to lead to more interest to see how this battle peaks with him and Pawan Kalyan. I think they have got some of the casting spot on, especially when I look at the supporting characters in the form of Shreya Reddy and Arjun Das. My favorite shot from the teaser is actually the most understated one, of a wife and a mother in the form of Priyanka Mohan just waking up to notice Pawan Kalyan sitting with a blood-lathered katana casually. That look itself possesses such a command of assuring someone that they have everything under lock. A lot of people are frustrated with the obsession of Indian movies lately with all the Japanese references, where the scenes in movies like Pushpa and War 2 almost feel like low effort attempts, almost taking advantage of the anime hype in India. But They Call Him OG has been having this influence since years, even before these movies may have conceptualized it. I just wish that it organically fits in the screenplay versus being a throwaway stylized action set piece. I keep on saying this with the visuals of OG. It seems like this movie will do what Tiger 3 intended to do for Emraan Hashmi's career and worldwide appeal. I love the DI work and cinematography by Ravi K. Chandran and Manoj Paramhamsa in this trailer. Sujit was lauded for this one particular aspect in Saho, and it was the impeccable sound design he employed in the action scenes, perfectly working in motion with the choreography, and you can see a tad glimpse of this in the latter half of the trailer. Seeing Pawan Kalyan going fully Tony Montana with the Tommy gun in the end actually has me hyped, because this commercial outing in Telugu cinema may present a simple gang war and revenge saga, but to do it with stylized conviction will be everyone's hope. Moving on to the second trailer that I watched today. At the start of the year, IMDb had asked a few people what their most anticipated titles of the year are, and even though my list has fared fairly better than Bhardwaj Rangan sir, I hope he won't mind me saying this, anyway we aren't in the business of predictions, here's a quick deep dive on what has gone down. Well, I think to say that Coolie, even after the digital release, is getting even more trolled is a testament to the quality of the movie. I was so overwhelmed by the number of releases on the weekend that this movie released that the moment I was getting to it, it had been removed from the theaters near me. Polarizing, yes, but I think it has more things we can appreciate about it than slander it for. Not bad, okay? I don't think anyone expected it to be the highest grossing Hindi film of 2025. I think if I add an Adarsh in my middle name, people would think that it is on brand. The film was good. I think most of us would agree that it wasn't phenomenal. The less said about the biggest disappointment from the list, the better. And finally, Rishab, I beg of you. The trailer anyway promises a spectacle for the ages, but if you deliver with this saga, it will not only on a micro level make me partly proud of this list, but will be a testament on how to design a sequel where the focus is not on project building, but a deep dive into the world, an extension of what made the first film so popular. Kantara in 2022 and the theatre experience I had is still vivid in my memory. The movie, at least in the Delhi NCR region, upon its release had close to 2 to 3 shows in odd hours and intervals. I remember it was the same weekend when Vikram Vedha and Ponniyin Selvan had released, leading to me watching Kantara on a Sunday and being absolutely taken aback by the enchanting tale written and directed by Rishab Shetty. I know there is a lot of retrospective analysis on the film today owing to some of its regressive themes that, by the way, were called out in the review even at the time of the film's release. However, I believe it still doesn't discount the brilliant screenplay and the saga of redemption and fight of the downtrodden against those with influence, and the unsaid connection of man with their land and the divine blessing that aims to protect it at any cost. The film had gained steam over a period of time, especially in the Hindi-speaking states, so much so that progressively many shows had increased and Kantara ended up becoming a huge blockbuster nationwide. Made on a budget of 14 crores, the movie grossed around 450 crores in box office revenue, making it probably one of the largest returns on investment in history when it comes to film production, at least in the 21st century. What comes, however, with success is also the expectations to build further in the same universe. And I think with the conclusion of Kantara being a fitting and symbolic end to Shiva's life coming full circle, with him joining his father with the tradition of Bhutakola and becoming one with the land, I think it was a masterstroke in not only doing a prequel, but also an exploration of the Kadamba dynasty. From what I have read, I think the 1975 Kannada movie Mayura is one of the most popular depictions of the Kadamba dynasty in Kannada cinema. A movie dearly loved even today, focusing on the origin story of their first king, Mayura Varma. I became extremely interested in what Rishab Shetty is cooking, especially when I first saw the making of video of this film on YouTube. And the sheer investment that has gone into making this spectacle. The task is enormous, and this must truly be overwhelming. For Rishab has the task of transporting us to an era of 300-400 CE, and through the tale of the Kadamba dynasty also explore the origins of divine practices like the Bhutakola and the presence of Panjuli or even Guliga. While everyone's interest peaked with the teaser, there was little on screen to break down other than Rishab looking like a Shiv Bhakt Nagasadhu while seeing some visions. This further made everyone curious about the trailer. From the onset, you can tell that Rishab has left no stone unturned from a scale point of view. You see real and grand locations, and it truly feels like a spectacle meant for the big screen. The cinematography by Arvind Kashyap is truly to marvel at. What people fear, however, is that does an increase of the budget compromise the storytelling? Something that many people fear with most sequels. The case of a sacred stone, the locals protecting and living in harmony with nature, is something that remains consistent with the themes of the first film. However, there is a name, Beheme, that is given to a child in the film who I presume grows up to become Rishab, but this name is associated to a deity in Tulu culture. that is associated with a horse-mounted figure holding a sword. The worship of this figure beginning in forests and open land, and I think the divine energy and power that Kantara will claim to have will get the oppressive and destructive gaze of the king played by Gulshan Devaiah, who in portions of the trailer seems inebriated and unhinged. The independent functioning of the locals led by Rishab in harmony with the forest and thriving monetarily through trade at the port will enrage the king. I think the war will further be inevitable for the doomed romance that seems to brew up between Rishab and Rukmani. The fear I think most audiences will have is this romance taking center stage, shifting its focus completely from the divine themes of the first film. However, I think it's rather dismissive to already create parallels with Ponniyin Selvan, which was anyway a well-made film, at least the first part in my eyes, just because one sees a hint of romance in any film between warring kingdoms. I think the eventual war will reach its crescendo as the locals ask for the divine to intervene and we see the forces beyond humankind to take charge. I think what people are pointing out, and justifiably so, regarding the Kantara trailer and why it did not give them goosebumps has a lot to do with the editing pattern of the trailer that does not get elevated through the score, and while the visuals are absolutely beautiful, the editing pattern of the trailer with the score almost has a montage-like feel, which leads to its overall flat impact. Whether or not the makers are still holding key plot points at bay and whether this is intentional, we will have to wait and find out. The adamant nature to capture most of this film in real locations becomes a logistical nightmare, I am sure. The shooting of Kantara Chapter 1 has been nothing short of dramatic. There were reports of a 50-day war sequence that has been shot with almost 3,000 extras and skilled fighters. The film's scale progressively only got bigger and bigger, it getting reported that the film's budget is estimated to be around 125 crores as it stands, which is actually nothing when you compare it to other films. But I hope this scale was intended from the onset. 2 artists and a crew member have passed away during the shooting of this film. There have been enormous sets that have been totally damaged due to excessive rain. There were reports of a boat capsizing that comprised of the director and 30 crew members. Thankfully, everyone was safe. However, it caused most equipment to get damaged. A theatre artist had said on the series of unfortunate events that were taking place during the shooting of the film, saying, making a film about Bhutakola, a traditional ritual art form in southern Kannada, involves inherent risks. The spirits do not like the commercialization of any activity connected to them. There can be a full documentary on the making of this film. The effort that Rishab is putting in is undeniable. I just hope that the increase in budget and scale of this film has not swayed him to compromise on the core theme of what made the first film so special. They Call Him OG has been a tough ride as well for a creator like Sujit, mostly playing a waiting game, but I believe his stylistic quality is something that Telugu cinema craves for and wants him to consistently create with other big stars. The upcoming weeks have a lot of hype with these movies soon releasing, and I hope both of them deliver solid products. And that was a video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the They Call Him OG trailer and the Kantara Chapter 1 trailer. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.